What's going on? Live from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, John Ting of GreenCardGuys.tv, and I'm here to solve your immigration problem as best as possible or even prevent it from happening in the first place. How are y'all doing? Happy Friday. Here to share some information. Let's see. If you're new to the channel, we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion consultation to see if there's a way we can just point you in the right direction. You might not even need our help in the first place as a full representation. Okay. Let's see here. I want to look at this comment right here because the topic for today, of course, I'm happy to answer any questions as best I can on the live show. But the topic for today is, can I apply for legal status without any status right now? Because the default rule, the law is that you have to have some kind of non-immigrant status in the meantime to, make sure you have not failed to maintain your status, except there are some exceptions. And I can share right now that you probably already know the most common is getting married to a U.S. citizen, a spouse, okay? But um, it depends. The next step after you file a petition really depends if you entered United States with the visa or not. Because if you entered without a visa, the next default rule is that you need to apply for a waiver. Of course, the government is not going to tell you if you need a waiver. That's up to you and you consulting with a lawyer, okay? Not a notario or like a consultant, um, someone in your community knows about immigration. They can have a lot of knowledge and maybe help some people file it. I have a lot of people that call me, call our office and see, just because I know them in the community and I know they're trying to help people, but it can get a little dicey if they don't know exactly the law, of course. So let's see here. There's a lot to share, but that's one of them. Okay. And then, but even if you enter without a visa, there are ways, more of other ways that you can stay here. Okay. For the interview, if it even requires one anyway. And so whether you're married to a spouse or not, but let's say you have a petition filed on your behalf before April 30th, 2001. Okay. Um, April 30th, 2001. Okay. This is a law called 245I. And this is what we call grandfathered provision signed into law by President Clinton back in the day, 1994. So just because I'm sharing this information, don't think I'm that old in terms of having all that knowledge, but it's very important to know the history of immigration and the laws in the United States so that we can help you. Okay. Because, for example, like citizenship, the laws about citizenship has changed not that often recently, but the last time was the year 2000. And people might qualify for being an automatic citizen, but it depends on when you were born, for example, and among other requirements. Um, but let's see here. The first comment of the day. Welcome, Mark. Let's see. What about immigration reform? The people who work so hard and pay taxes should get their green card. Mark, I definitely agree with you. Okay, I acknowledge there's a lot of people who call in who don't maybe not married to a U.S. citizen or a resident even, because first of all, marriage is a difficult. Picking the right person is a difficult choice. Okay, and let alone it'd be kind of awkward. I don't know how that works. Like, hey, by the way, do you have legal status? Right? That's typically not the first. I would think that's not the first thing you ask in the first couple dates, but who knows? But yeah, I agree about your concern, Mark. I definitely understand that. I think there's been talk about articles that say there's at least 8 million people undocumented who need status. And that's a thing, folks, like Texas, all these other conservative states suing the administration about DACA, saying that, oh, it's a huge cost to the state. I don't think so. Okay. It's actually, they're providing, increasing the tax base, paying taxes locally, not just to the IRS. So I can talk about that kind of stuff all day. But reform, yeah, that's a huge topic. I'm probably going to record one about that next week. because I mean, I can go into a little bit right now. I can share an example of what I track. Okay, so let's see here. Let me just share one example. I know there's a couple other questions. I'm definitely happy to address those. Okay, but let me share one that people have talked about before. And let me increase the size. So what I track is, I have a Congress alert with to get emails every time there's some kind of update with reform. So here, this is in the House of Representatives. This is called the Eagle Act of 2022. Representative Zoe Lofgren has introduced bills pretty much every year, the past couple years at least, related to immigration. And this shows, well, if I make it wider, you can see more options here. But one of them is to see the co-sponsors. Okay, I like to see if other people support this. There's at least 83 people. That's great. There's 8 Republicans here that are for it. I don't believe there's one on the Senate side. It should say if there is one, a companion bill, but typically there's not one on the other side. I'm never been a politician, so I don't know, but typically there's not one on the other side until this particular bill is passed. But anyways, the summary, okay? What is the purpose of this? And on that video I'm going to record for y'all next week, I'm going to share with you some of the Republican bills, and don't be surprised, it's not necessarily for the benefit of immigrants, okay? Not at all. But this bill is the latest action, it appears, was June 7th, so several months ago. And this is to help with the eliminate the per country cap for employment-based visas and also for family-based. And I believe also address the age out issue, especially for the people who are sons and daughters of H-1B holders. So that's just an example, okay? That and of course this addresses the backlog in terms of the visa wait time. But that's just a snippet of how I share the content with y'all. So if you're new to our channel, please subscribe down below and share with your friends. And if you enjoy the way I share the content, please smash the like button. It always helps with this channel being shown to other people's feed. And so let's see here. Tahani, can undocumented person stay 10 years and get I think you're saying cancellation or removal. Okay. See your second comment, cancellation of deportation at the court. And can the lawyer ask without USCIS moving the case? So, I think if I can understand, you're welcome to add more information here in the comments, Tahani. But when you say USCIS, it sounds like you have an application filed to them. Is it a 485? When we do represent clients for cancellation removal in court, the formal name is removal proceedings. This is, you have to have 10 years. And that 10 years has to be before you receive this notice to appear in court. It's called NTA for short. Okay. And it could happen that the 10 years can get cut short. I don't know, I did quotations, but the 10 years can get cut short is when certain crimes happen by a certain time period. So it's not just the NTA. So that's something you might want to consider. It sounds like you do have a lawyer, possibly. But yeah, and then USCIS, because if you have, for example, if you have a spouse who's a resident, Tahani, or even a U.S. citizen, maybe that's in your situation. Number one, that person would be what we consider qualifying relative for the benefit of your cancellation removal case. There's a form out there called 42A or 42B. But if you do have one of those relationship types, then you might want to consider filing I-130. Okay, maybe you did already, because even if you're eligible for the cancellation removal, what we do as a law firm, a Ting Law Group, we offer all the legal options. Okay, and we recommend taking advantage of as many of those legal options as possible that you're eligible for. And the reason why is because in general, if you have a case in court, but you could file and be eligible for a petition through a spouse, I I would choose through the spouse. Okay, because number one, if you get order removed, there's no going back to the one. I mean, you can still use that petition, but then you're gonna have to wait outside the United States. Okay, you can't just hang out in America because they're even when you file that 485 adjustment of status application, they're gonna say, "Well, buddy, you have this removal order, and you got to follow the removal order. You got to go outside U.S." So it's I would hate for people, and I've heard this. People have wasted money and time. They filed that 45, and that's what 1225, $1,225. I remember all this weird math numbers. Maybe it's because my cousin's a math teacher. I don't know. No, it's not because of my skin color. Um, Best lawyer. I don't know about that, but I appreciate it, Junior. There's a lot of great lawyers out there. We're just out here just trying to share as much useful information as possible. And let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so sorry, I was looking at my team comments. Hey, Raf, what's going on? By the way, if anyone wants to join the studio, you're welcome to do that. I can share the link. Now that I know how to share the link, I believe. Let me see. Can I do that? If you want to, but I know some folks are a little shy, but I'll put it in there. I should be on for about 15 more minutes, and then there's a waiting room. Let's see here. Okay, your son will turn 21 April 2023. Hey, Raf, nice to see you. I think I recognize your channel name. Appreciate you joining on. When should we gather papers? Hmm. Me and my wife, it's been 30 years, my goodness. 30 years of contributing to the U.S. tax base. Your wife had a visa as a visitor, uh, and you were admitted as a C1 transit. Okay, 1991 for yourself and 92. Okay, well, let's see here. C1 transit. Okay, when I see that, I so for your wife, that will be fine. Okay, but I have to make sure when I see C1 and I see transit, I think I associate that with crewman visa. Okay, so I just want to check that for you because crewman visa you can't adjust. Okay, and those are typically for visas for the people that work on cruise ships, for example, in the past. Let's see here. Cigar, I see your question. Let me know which country, and I'm happy to check. OME, OME week visa. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but maybe if you can rephrase. But yeah, at the end of the day, 1 week visa. Maybe that's what you mean. Let's see here. Examples. Crew member. Yeah. Okay. Nepal. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to answer a couple questions at the same time. Okay, Raf, you might want to call into our office, which is a great opportunity for me to say this. Our number's up top. Oh, not a C-man. Okay, that's good. That's good to know, Raf. But you might want to, if you have a similar type question that's like, want to make sure that you can actually adjust status, okay? You give us a call, okay? And you want to take advantage of the free 15 minutes so we can point you in the right direction. No obligation to hire, okay? Just to give you some information. Sometimes we don't have enough time to discuss everything over the channel, of course. But thanks for joining on, and I'm going to share that secret code with you at the end, towards the end of the show, so you can take advantage of that 15 minutes and unlock it. Okay, so you share that with the cares team. So okay, great, nice, great to hear, Raph. But yeah, in terms of your direct question, of course, I'm looking at all these potential issues. But your son will turn 21. Of course, I'm assuming your son is a U.S. citizen. Would make sense because you said you're here for 30 years, and April 2023. So of course you can't file until he is 21. So literally the day that he's 2021, you can file those applications. It appears that, yeah, you both have legal entry. So your visa, sorry, your interview, if there requires one at the time, they could waive it. Your 45 interview would be in the United States, okay, local to where you live. Of course, processing times depend on across the country. But yeah, you can't file early. It's not like naturalization, become a U.S. citizen, where you can file within 90 days. So you have to wait until at least when he turns 21. You're in Chicago. Okay, so we can check that out too. But let's see here. Okay, processing times. And then I'll get to Cigar's question. Let me share my screen. Love to share my screen so you know exactly how to find this information for yourself in case you can't contact us. But we're happy to point you in the right direction. Okay, I am on the uscis.gov website. On the top toolbar, you can click on tools, or of course you can always Google search it. And then the top middle, tools and resources. Scroll down for processing times. And you're filing 485 eventually. Click the drop down, form category, family based. Chicago. For 45s, I go to the local field office because typically as an interview in general. Okay, 80% of the cases being filed to Chicago are 15 and a half months. That's not bad, okay? Because some places I see like 24 plus, pretty ridiculous. So let's see here. Hopefully that helps, Raf. If you don't mind, smash the like button for me. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, Cigar. Okay, wait time. Okay, my next favorite website. Let me share my screen. So what I'm doing now is going to the visa bulletin. Okay. Okay, what is the wait time for family based? Let's just look at November, upcoming one. Sorry, it's a little small. Scroll down. Okay, there's two charts. You said what'd you say? F4? Okay, F4 is for brothers and sisters who have a sponsor who's a US citizen over 21. There's only 65,000 of these visa available per year. And plus any not used by the other categories, but of course they're all used. So it's not much. Okay, more of the preference goes to those who are in the second category, F2A and F2B. That's 114,000, really, because that's really like two separate categories. Anyway, that's chart A and chart B. We first look at chart B. Okay, F4. You said your country is Nepal. Okay, so Nepal, that is under the left column, which I don't think you can see my. Okay, there you go. You can see a highlight. This left column says all chargeability areas except those listed to the right. The ones listed to the right is because a lot of people apply from those countries. So let's see here. So F4, they're working on cases from December 15th, the year 2007. Okay, that's weird how they figure out these dates, but yeah. If you can see down the row, usually some of them are on the 15th, some on the 8th. It's all over the place. So hopefully that helps, Cigar. And so key thing here, folks, is that you want to make sure when you scroll up here, you want to make sure that you've taken action in your case. Because let's say your prior date is before this date, okay? You don't want to miss the boat, okay? You only have one when it reaches the priority date here, like your priority date shows up here. You have technically by law 1 year to take action. Okay. For example, if you're in the US and you've maintained your status, you need to file the 485 when you see the prior date show up on the visa bulletin. I'm pointing here because my computer monitors there, but you need to take action because we've had some people call in to our office and say, like, oh, it's been like 2 years ago. Like, what were you doing? You got to file the 485 if you're in the US and assuming you have maintained your status. Otherwise, you need to file a waiver if you have not maintained your status. Okay. So there's a lot of different, I call it like the tree, little branches of different situations. So, and we call it the golden ticket. Okay. Maybe I need to change the secret code to that. We call it a golden ticket when you have entered the U.S. without a visa, but you're eligible based on other reasons like Violence Against Women Act. You've been abused or not. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be emotional, psychological. Um, so that's one way. It could be special immigrant juvenile visa, which really means if you're a child and been abused, neglected, or abandoned, okay, as a child under 20, under 18. But that a lot of work has to be done before turning 18, preferably. Okay, so or otherwise, if you had that petition, a different petition filed before, kind of like Cigar, he's got a petition filed by for Cigar by a sibling, and that was I'm assuming what's your prior date, Cigar, if you're still on, but that was before the year 2001. Okay, April 2001. So that's another golden ticket. Okay, or if you have a family member, not any family member, but a spouse, parent, or adult child who is in the military, U.S. military, you can apply for similar to advanced parole, but a parole in place. Okay, we can get all your status here in the U.S. You don't have to go abroad. Okay, so that's just something to consider. There's a lot of options. Okay, September 2009. Okay, so it's coming up. Got about almost 2 years, but now that's getting closer. Cigar, there's an example where I would just check this website. Okay, let me go back one so you can have a have the link, which you probably know about it already. But I would always check, especially when it gets closer to 1 year. I pretty check that. I don't know. We use this phrase called religiously in American culture, which means you can check every month, okay? Because you don't want that time to slip. In the meantime, go ahead and collect any documents you need, except for the criminal clearance record or police certificate, because that'd be too early. All right, that would expire 6 months. It needs to be valid for at least 6 months. Okay, when you provide that to the government. So no need to get that now or pay for it. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Let's see. How's the sound, by the way? Someone the other day said they couldn't hear me, but others could. So want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Mhm. Okay, you said you checked in USCIS website. Most cases are fulfilled in 140 months, or you mean you checked the I-140? Oh, 140 months, because it's family based. I mean, I can check that. Let's see, 140 months. Do you know what your service center is? Wait, your petition's been approved, right? At least. All right, let me show the screen for the processing times because okay. Yours 2009. You filed that around 2000, or your sibling did, so it should have been approved by now. Brother, sister. Okay. What service center? Yeah, I don't know if. Oh, yeah. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, pick the right one. California. California is not our favorite location. Okay, Texas Service Center usually. Let me go ahead and click Texas. And by the way, folks, we cannot. There is. Oh, okay, slightly better. 32 months. So what does it? What does this really mean? This is frustrating, right? This is totally frustrating. 140 months. Why is that? Most likely the pandemic. They're going to continue using the pandemic as a reason, for better or worse. There's pros and cons to that. Because of the pandemic, they've extended the deadline, typically additional 60 days for RFE or notice of intent to deny. But anyways, 140 months. But that 140 months might not matter to you, Cigar, if your petition is already approved, right? Has yours been approved already? That's crazy. My math, that's at least 10 years, right? What the heck? Okay, let's go to the visa bulletin. I don't recall seeing that before like that. I mean, that's That's actually a good thing. I know it's strange for me to say that. That's a good thing in the purpose of if you have children, cigar. So for the age out issue, because the age out calculation, even though if they're over 21, by the time you finally get the freaking invoice or net welcomes letter, it's really email from National Visa Center, then the longer your petition's processing, generally, the better for your age out calculation. Okay, so that's the way I understand it. So hopefully, so for better or worse, you just have to keep track of your 140 months. That's still, it's just, yeah, it's just ridiculous how they calculate it in the first place. Uh, Richard, what's going on? Regarding 245I, does it need to be a petition filed by a U.S. citizen or a resident holder, green card holder? He's a beneficiary. Okay, I guess you're asking for a friend. He's a beneficiary of family based petition way back 93. Does he qualify for this Immigration Act? Um, yeah, it could be filed by anyone. It could even be based on employment from a long time ago. If it's based on employment, it's a labor certification. Uh, my kiddo's looking at me, so that means I got to hop off soon. And hop out of the studio, which I'm going to improve my studio look eventually. I added these lights, um, hopefully a little sparkle. So if you have ideas to improve the studio here, I'm always happy to learn, make it a little bit better. Okay. Yes. My answer is yes. In general, yes. So 93. Okay. Um, Yeah, well then maybe your friend or the person you know is eligible already to file for the next step. Because 93, assuming he's still using the same sponsor, let me switch back to the other one. Okay, to share my screen. Okay, so Richard, if you're still on, if you're able, if you know the category, which one is it? F1, F2A, B, 3, or 4? But 1993. I mean, the worst category for the longest wait time is F4, brother and sister. So I hope it's not too late, but could be. We ask your friend to give us a call, okay, Richard? Um, but 93, that sounds like yeah, that's way too long ago. Maybe they've already could have filed their next step, the 45. Okay. Um, So yeah, our phone number is right up here, 720-740-4247. To access those free 15 minutes, we're going to share the secret code with you towards the end of the show. And let's see here. Chiku94, what's going on? You were okay. You received the request from NVC for your civil documents. Can you travel to US? You have B1, B2. Um, it's possible. Yes, you can certainly travel to the US, but for what I think your actual question is, can you travel and then overstay? I cannot advise that kind of answer on YouTube, but what I can tell you is that we have several clients who have done something similar and have been eligible for everything and had a valid visa and able to adjust status in the US. But I cannot answer specific to you because that would be considered legal advice. So the best thing to do, Chiku, is give us a call. Or the other way, y'all, is if you don't have time right now to give us a call or text us, that's completely understandable. Maybe at night, you go to our website, greencardguys.com. Let me show you how you can get to it. All right, go to our link here and then click on Contact Us. Take quiz, answer a few questions. All right, just a few, not too many. If you have a denial letter or something you want to share with us, you can upload it, and it should take you to the next page to self-schedule your own free 15 minutes. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you, and then our CARES team will call you. If you have WhatsApp or something, you're not here in the U.S., please let us know in those extra comments in the description box so we know that. That way we can contact you appropriately and then find out more information. And they'll do their best. Our cares team is really, really good. They're wonderful. I greatly appreciate them and their hard work because y'all have a lot of stories and information to share. We want to point you in the right direction. And also, what they do is they'll send you a free guide if we have one about your situation, your scenario. And but if you don't have time to call in or fill out that form, we do offer it on our website. It doesn't have all of them because we have like 20 plus to address all the common immigration problems. But we do have these free guides on our website. Check it out. Just on the footer, on the end of the page there. And we have one specific about mandamus lawsuits. If you're suffering from unreasonable delays for your case, you might think it's unreasonable and you're frustrated with it, but it might not be. So just give us a call. We'll see if we can tell you if it's unreasonable or not. You might not like our answer, but we're not able to file a lawsuit to push your case for every case just because it's not what we consider unreasonable timing yet, or what the government considers that to be unreasonable. So, anyways, let's see here. All right. So I know there's another question here. If you hear that, that's my dog trying to slam into the door. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to answer that question over the online stream, but yeah, plenty of people have done that, but just have to be you have to be more careful. You need to speak with a lawyer about that. Again, it doesn't have to be through us. Okay. We're just here to share information, but we're happy to point you the right direction if we can do it. And then I think there was another question. Okay, Richard, F1. F1, I think you said it was 1993. Okay, so yeah, your friend might need to talk with a lawyer because on here, I forgot to ask you which country, but on here, assuming like it was near 2016, then that's potentially long gone. Okay, but if you have a new sponsor, you could still use that 245I. The benefit of that, if you have another sponsor, okay, because maybe, for example, you have a new sponsor to like a spouse or adult child that's a U.S. citizen, you can file I-130 and then still take advantage of that old petition. Okay. So, and even that old petition before April 2001, it does not even have to be approved as long as it's approvable. So I know it may seem a little bit confusing. Why would they not approve it? I don't know. I haven't, fortunately, um, haven't had that kind of situation. Well, what am I trying to say? So, anyways, 1993. That's amazing. If he or she still has that, that's amazing. That's a golden ticket. I need to create a little GIF or something with the golden ticket. Chiku, yes, you can call WhatsApp. So that's not our WhatsApp number. So that's my fault. But we do have a number. Let's see. How can I get to it? Our WhatsApp number is this one right here. Okay, 346-330-5888. I'll leave that up there so you can find us there. And then, okay, what else? Okay, the secret code. Let me share that with you. Secret code right now. I should change it to the golden ticket, but here it is. Okay. Okay, that's the benefits of hiring a law firm. Green Card Guys, the secret code. You could have guessed it. And yeah, there's a lot of benefits here that people really care about, but many law firms are not intentional. We had meetings about this practically every day. I don't know if my team likes that or not, but I hope they can appreciate how, and y'all appreciate that we file cases in a timely manner as best as possible. There could be times where you still need to collect certain documents, and we understand that, but we want people to know that we understand that you need status as soon as possible. We cannot control the government processing time, but we can control our own internal processing time. Okay, so we can file, the default is max in terms of 30 days from the time you hire. We onboard you the same day. However, if you want to file even sooner, it really requires a lot more teamwork, collaboration with you. And so we can file as soon as 15 days. Of course, there's an extra fee for that kind of like the government has their own premium processing. But that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, folks, let me see if you don't have any other questions for now. It's completely understandable. It's been over 30 minutes. I got to get to my daughter, my little kiddos. Let's see what else. Yeah, we're going to be. Oh, by the way, I haven't said this publicly yet, but on Saturdays, Saturday mornings, we do share like the top news of the week. That's not me saying anything. It's just we have someone that does that, so and share that news bit. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you. But yeah, that's every Saturday morning. Okay, and let's see. We're trying to go live. I had to go a little earlier today because I have a lunch meeting. But I appreciate it. And until next time, folks, have a wonderful day. Take care now.